everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Talkin Tuong, the quarantine show, where I get to talk to my friends near and far to talk about movies, TV shows, ear infections. We get to talk about, we'll get into that in just a second. But my guest today, we haven't talked to this guest in a very long time. In fact, most people might have not heard her voice, which is it's a grand shame. If you listen to Top 5 Chips, you'll know this person has hot topics about chips and cheese. Maybe we'll have to do a whole cheese episode. Today, my guest is the wonderful Simone Dorie, everyone.
Hello, everybody. I'm not a 95-year-old woman.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to do an accent? Are you doing an impression for the rest of the show?
I had bottled up so much energy from that intro. I just needed to squeal it out of excitement.
Simone, I'm so happy you're here today. I reached out to you, and this is the last time, like it's been almost a year since we've done Top 5 Chips. And I remember back then we were doing improv together, and I was just like, Simone, we weren't that close yet, but I was just like, Simone seems like she'd have hot topics on stuff. And as soon as I reached out to you, you're like, yes, give it to me. Give me more airtime.
Always. I always have so many dumb opinions on things that don't matter. So any platform to express that on, I am so down for.
I know, it's actually quite a shame. I need you back in to rank stuff sometime, but I was like, you know what? We have to ease you back into this. So that's why you're on Talkin Tuong today. And for the people who don't know who you are, Simone, tell us what you're all about.
Oh man. Okay. Hi, Simone Dorie, former farmer, boat captain, current basement troll.
Water depot expert.
Oh, water. I can sell you water like there's no tomorrow. You want spring, reverse osmosis, whatever you got. I can give it to you. Alkaline, that's some new stuff, but I'll balance your pH, baby.
Oh my God. I feel like I just got a whole lesson on. Okay. If you were to sell me on water right now, how would you do it? I walk into your store. I don't know what I want. I'm one of those customers that I'm like, well, what do you think?
Well, what I would personally suggest is for $3.25, you can get 18 liters of reverse osmosis water. It's your basic filtration. It takes out all of the toxins from the water, anything that you don't want in there. It's pretty smooth. Most people like it. And we can actually set you up the package here. So you can just come in, have prepaid water on your card. We'll just take your name down and take off the packages as you go. Very simple and easy, very secure. So let me know. You can have a sample if you'd like. If you don't want that, I definitely recommend our pre-bottled spring water. It has lots of minerals in there as well to keep you feeling extra hydrated.
Oh my God. I feel like you had to say that over and over and over and over again. You did the water stuff for years, didn't you?
Yeah, it's really weird selling one of Earth's most plentiful natural resources. It just doesn't make sense.
But you're good at it. I feel like I need to go buy some water right now. Simone, what else? Tell us what else has been going on in your life? What keeps you happy?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I've started this kind of a resolution. So I tried to do this a year ago and epically failed within the first day. But I've taken a picture of every single sunset so far in 2021, and I plan on going until the end, baby.
Really?
Yeah. I want to take a picture of every single sunset. Even if it's today it's super overcast and cloudy, so the sunset's just going to be white. It looks like nothing. It goes from gray to darker gray to black. But I still take a picture because that's today's sunset. And so it also just kind of it gets me outside at my favorite time of day where it's just either beautiful or just serene and calm. And I just take a picture of the sky when it looks the most beautiful, and I capture it and I keep it on my computer, and I'm gonna make a little book after. It's gonna be every single sunset of 2021.
And then the next year sunrise, but then
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, really. And you're used to waking up early.
Yeah, I wake up really early. I love being awake when nobody else is.
So you can watch them sleep.
Yeah, so I can plot where I'm going to bite them on the neck and then their souls.
Are you a part-time vampire? What's happening?
Did I not include that in the intro? Sorry.
Simone, that's so great. I love that. So you're taking pictures of sunsets. That's what's keeping you going right now.
Yeah, it's every day just to remind myself that it sets,
What else? I mean, you like to play music. You have a very talented and beautiful voice that I've heard live. Well, actually, whenever I've heard you live singing in improv shows, it was always we're always singing about stupid
It's
stuff. So they're not really singing, you know? It's
yeah.
fake singing. It's like toilet,
Yeah.
plungers, blah, 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 blah.
Oh my God, you sound so beautiful, Tan.
Thank you, thank you. I know you're just saying that to pump me up right now, and it's working. But
Yeah.
you also sing like on your Instagram and maybe TikTok. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I haven't sang on TikTok yet because I'm really, really scared of like the preteens. Like I'm really scared of what they're gonna say.
Why? Who
Like, what if
cares?
they think I'm like old bad singing lady? And they're like, no, I'm like 23,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna say
still.
you're not old whatsoever.
No, but you don't understand. TikTok's like scary and like they will rip you a new one. I don't want to become like a meme. Maybe I do, but I don't know if I want to become a meme for something that is actually like serious because I do a lot of like things that are supposed to be comedic and they don't take off. And then I'm scared that the one serious thing I do is gonna like become a meme.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, I mean, like, you know, and maybe I shouldn't call you out on this though. You
Oh my
started
god.
singing and then you fell backwards into your bathtub and you hit your head, maybe got a concussion. I'm not sure. You're better at telling the story.
All right. So I realized that my bathroom lighting was really nice at 2 p.m. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring my guitar into the bathroom and I'm going to record a little ditty sitting on the edge of my tub because I was like aesthetic or something. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm sitting on the edge of my tub and I strum one chord and somehow my butt slips off the edge of the tub. I fall backwards. I have my dad's guitar. So I'm like, we can't drop this, we can't hurt this, and I'm holding it up in the air, kind of like, you know, when you see dads in the pool and they fall in but they hold their beer out.
Yep.
It was like that. So the guitar's in the air, I fall, just slide mercifully into the tub and smack the back of my head off of the tap, like the faucet on the tub.
Oh.
So it was like direct impact, like of all places. My doctor was even like, I don't know how you had that kind of aim. Like, how did you hit right onto the, like, that's the worst thing you could have done. I was like, I don't know. And I literally was concussed for like 3 weeks. Like, I had to go to urgent care. Everyone was like, my boyfriend was like, I played football and like got knocked out and I sprung back faster than you. Like, what? I'm like, I don't know. I must have super tub strength. Like, it was so obnoxious. Like, it was so stupid.
I mean, the best part, and we're laughing about this now. Of course, we were, you know, it could be a little scary getting a concussion, of course, but like Simone sent me the video pretty
Oh my God,
much
yeah.
instantly, and it was just really funny because you're laughing, but you're also being like, "Ow, ha
Yeah.
ha ha, ha ow," and you're like,
Because I knew it was dumb. Like, I knew it was dumb. You know that moment when you're falling, you're like, this is gonna be stupid. And then I also knew that something was filming me. Like, I had my phone set up, it was recording the whole thing, and at the end of the video, you can hear me be like, Dad, please come in here and stop the recording because I couldn't get up to
you
turn
couldn't
off.
get
I
up.
felt
Oh,
so stupid just sitting there in pain, like dying laughing because this thing is recording me, and I just smoked my head off the tub for no reason.
yeah. Well, it's all for the art. It's all for
Yeah.
your future TikTok fans, I think.
I know. That's why I like stopped being serious because I don't know how. And I just hurt myself. Being
That's
serious
okay.
is painful, everybody.
It's who needs to be serious? It's too serious of a world right now. Let's
Yeah.
make it less serious by talking about the news of the week. The news of the week, and they're all, of course, we talk about pop culture news because I don't want to talk about real news. And
Love it.
Simone, you were worried because you're like, I don't know anything about pop culture.
No, I'm so bad. I'm so
And
bad.
she's not lying. Like I remember, it was when I first met Simone. I think I said like something about Gandalf or Lord of the Rings. You're like, what's that? Or like,
No, literally, I went through every single one of your podcasts for Talkin Tuong, and the only movie I had seen off of this was The Princess Switch 2. That is the only one. I was like, oh my God. So I like listened to that one and it was relatable and great. But I was like, I don't think I can listen to these other ones because I've never seen any of these.
Yeah, it's, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's why we do this at the beginning. Half of the show is just connecting with you, talking about the news, and then we talk about the movie. So that's just an afterthought. But, you know, Princess Switch 2, let's hear the thoughts.
I hope Vanessa's getting paid like 4 times the amount because that's ridiculous. She's literally everybody. It doesn't make any sense. Did you hear that there's a third one coming?
Oh, so the second one was Princess Switch 2 switched again. What's the third reason for switching?
I don't know. Why are they still switching? And like I would leave her, like the husband, the prince, whatever, dump her because she's switching, she's lying. It's too shady. I don't like it. There's like an evil. It's too much.
I also
Stop
don't
when you're
like.
ahead.
not that we're talking about Princess Switch 2 again, because of course Laura and I talked about that before, but I just don't like everything else in the movie is a little bit like wondrous and not magical per se, like it's towing the line of it, but they don't even try with the switching. They're just like different makeup.
Exactly. Because it's like Christmassy, like wonder, I guess, is like the line that it trickles on. But then it's just like, put on a hat. And I'm like, what? That's Vanessa Hudgens.
I know. It's like, why? Couldn't you just like make like a Freaky Friday thing of like a real switch? I don't know.
But nothing happens. They're like, I'm going to be you right now. She's like, okay. Like, what the hell is that? Why?
It's true. Okay, we're not talking about Princess Switch.
Yeah, sorry.
We're not.
Fired up.
We will when Princess Switch 3 comes out.
Yes. Yeah, I will return.
6 Vanessa Hudgens, at least, I'm sure.
It's too many.
Okay, so this might be tough because, pop culture is tough for you. So how about I start with this? Okay. Willy Wonka. You know Willy Wonka.
Yep. Chocolate
factory. Yeah, chocolate factory, Oompa Loompas, all that stuff. Did you know Willy Wonka is getting a prequel movie?
Okay, but my question to that is what even happened before? Like, it's just a functioning factory.
Yeah, so here's the story of a young Willy Wonka and his adventures prior to opening the world's most famous chocolate factory. I don't know if I need to see this. Like,
in my brain, it was just like the chocolate factory in operation. like before the gold tickets, like it's just like this is how the factory runs. I forgot he could be a kid.
It's who would you cast as Willy Wonka? And it could be anyone, a young Willy Wonka. Now remember, Johnny Depp played Willy Wonka at one point as well.
And you know what? I wish that Jim Carrey played Willy Wonka.
Oh, but it has to be a young Jim Carrey then.
I know. I know. But I'm like, what young actors are there in the world right now? Who's young?
And I feel like every single episode of Talking Tuong, we joke about like the 2 young boy actors that are like just everywhere. And in this article, it says the 2 most interested players that they're looking at is Timothée Chalamet and Tom Holland. These 2 are, it's like the most obvious choices.
I've never seen Timothée Chalamet in anything, I don't think.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Jawline. I know.
Okay, what jawline? Explain.
He's got that crazy jaw. He's a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn, so I know who he is. But he has a crazy jawline.
Wait, how do you know he's a Capricorn?
I'm pretty sure he's a Capricorn. I'm pretty sure because I see it all the time, and everyone's like, Capricorns always have these strong jawlines. Thanks for noticing mine.
I don't look at people in that way, Simone, personally. So if I say I'm a Pisces, which I am, what does that say?
Oh my God.
What does that say to you?
Pisces? Okay, I'm a Pisces moon.
What does that mean?
Okay, so basically, like, I'm scared people listen to Talking Tuong are gonna like roast me for my astrology knowledge.
No, I want to hear this. That's way more interesting than the news headlines this week, to be honest.
Oh my God. So you have your like 3 main signs. So you have like your sun, your rising, and your moon sign. So your rising is kind of like, that's the one. So you say you're a Pisces rising. Like that's like your main sign. Okay. And your moon sign, which I'll describe to you, is what you kind of feel like you are internally. So rising, you kind of project out. And then moon sign, you kind of are internally. So
it's either rising or moon.
Or like sun. There's a sun sign also.
Okay.
But anyways. So
okay, I'm sorry.
So Pisces are like very, very highly sensitive.
Okay.
Which is very cute. They're known as like the babies of the zodiac, like little baby Pisces. They're always sad and emotional. Very creative though.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, little baby. And you're a water sign. That's cool.
So when you look
I'm
at
an
me,
earth sign. I'm a Capricorn. I'm a goatfish.
Strong jawline. That's all I know about Capricorn.
Tiny little baby.
Yeah. I'm stroking my thumb baby. Right now. Look at me. Oh, people can't see it. We're on a video call. Simone saw. That's all that matters. Cool. Well,
I'm sorry.
I'm excited to hear more about your astrology knowledge later in the show. Maybe it'll come in handy.
It's like so botched. It's like white trash astrology.
Okay, what else do we have? I have to say, the news of this week, not that interesting. I mean, we got delays of movies, but Simone, when was the last besides the movie of the week that we're not revealing yet, what was the last movie you saw?
Oh my God. You like knew that was going to be hard.
Yeah.
I watched a movie last night, actually. That wasn't this movie. For like the first time I actually got through it, I realized that I always fall asleep. Like I will put on a movie within 10 minutes. I am knocked out. Good night. Bye-bye.
Even at a theater?
No, not at a theater, but I never go to the theater.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Literally ever, because I don't want to pay for something that I'm just going to be like, am I even interested in this?
Well, normally you would be like, I am interested in this, and then buy the ticket. Like,
but how do you know? How do you know?
I mean, we have the internet these days. Like people do reviews. Know. Okay. All right.
But, what was it called? Do you remember what the movie was called last night, Gwen? The movie we watched last night? I'm calling a friend. It had Paul Rudd in it.
Okay.
And he was basically
explain it.
Like a personal support worker. The fundamentals of caring. The fundamentals of caring.
The fundamentals of caring. That sounds so. I like Paul Rudd quite a bit. Was it good?
It was really good. It was very heartfelt. So he basically becomes a personal support worker. He's like a washed up writer, becomes a personal support worker again for this kid who has muscular dystrophy. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So he's in a wheelchair. And becomes this personal support worker, and this kid has like a set routine. He like always eats 2 waffles and a sausage, watches TV at the same time every day. And he like has this little map of all these roadside attractions, and he's like, I'm never gonna do it because I never want to leave my house. And Paul Rudd's like, what if we did? And then his mom's like, I'm not letting it go. And he's like, but I'm Paul Rudd. And they're like, okay. And then they go on this crazy journey together, and it's really sweet. I like it.
I love the way you describe summaries of movies, which makes me really excited how you're going to sum up the movie that we'll be talking about later. Amazing. But I like Paul Rudd too. I think he's just he's just a really good actor, and people just usually equate him to being like just a comedic force, which he is very, very funny, but he's very good at portraying like drama as well, I find.
And this was dramatic. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like comedy heavy. Like it was definitely like moments. There was comedy because like you can't have a movie that's just like depressing the whole way through, but it wasn't like
I'm sure you could, but
but it wasn't like slapstick.
It'd be very out of place if that was the case. Yes. All right, so we have a trailer for Young Rock, which I didn't see, but this was announced ages ago, and I'm gonna explain this. So Dwayne Johnson is getting his own NBC show where they're playing people are playing 3 versions of him growing up. A young rock, middle-aged rock, Dwayne, I guess. And
can they please make it a pebble, a stone, and a rock?
That'd be much more interesting. Maybe.
I hope they do.
Now, Simone, as a big rock fan, yes, you are. Number one. Here, I'm gonna spin this for you. If you had to have 3 actors play, I mean, you're only 23, so this is really hard because you're very young. And although you still don't connect with the young audience of TikTok, so you're too old for that. But if you have 3 actors right now to play different stages of your life, you can even do future as well.
My life?
Your life. Who would it be?
Okay. Oh my God. My life? Okay. Everyone always says that I look like Anna Sophia Robb. Do you know who that is?
Anna Sophia.
She was in Bridge to Terabithia.
No, I have not seen that.
Okay, I haven't seen it either. But I used to get I used to get stopped at concerts because I used to go to concerts a lot. RIP concerts, but I used to go to concerts a lot. And I remember girls would stop me and take pictures with me.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not Anna Sophia Robb, but I used to have short blonde hair, and she has short blonde hair too. So maybe I get her to play me in my mid stages of life.
So like right now?
Yeah. I think that'd be good. Younger me,
she kind of does look like you.
Yeah, right?
She kind of does look like you. I could see it. You should cash in on this.
I don't want to be someone's like, I can't go on the road as like an Anna Sophia Robb impersonator. I'm like, I was in that one movie, Bridge to Terabithia. I haven't seen it. Have you?
It's true. They'll ask you so many questions. You're like, bail.
Yeah, literally like, I don't know. Take a picture. We have green eyes. When I was younger, everyone told me I looked like I'm talking like toddler age.
Yep.
Taylor Momsen when she plays what the heck is it? Dahu Doris. What are those things? You know, the Grinch. What?
Yeah, that song.
Who's? What's the little who? Cindy
Lou Who. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone said I look like her, so we'll pick her. And then older me.
Her when she was young, because right now, I mean, I'm looking at pictures of her.
No, not in the goth.
She's
stages.
in super goth. Were you ever goth?
Yes. Oh my god.
Really?
Yes. I had this emo phase from like grade six to like 7, where I only listened to Avenged Sevenfold.
I don't know what that is, but an emo band.
Look it up. It's very like songs about the afterlife.
Oh,
and
God.
Yeah. And I wore lots of black eyeliner, but I had the same personality. It's like I wanted to be sad. I don't understand, but I wasn't. I was still bubbly and I was
gonna say you're a very bubbly person, very excited. We can tell because you squealed at the very beginning of the episode. It seems like you would go against your goth nature, you know?
It was so weird. It was like I was a book with the wrong casing. Like I just had this like crazy personality, but then on the outside I was like, death metal. But like why? For what?
Like it was cool back then. Maybe.
Was it?
I don't know. I listen to emo music too, because like back in the day, you have a hard time processing emotions. So when you hear bands like singing very explicitly about very emotional stuff, you're like, oh yeah, I guess this resonates with me because I'm like 16 and I know how to feel now.
Yeah, fair enough. I used to sit with like the window would be here and then Simone would be here and then the curtain would be behind me, so it was just the window, so all I could see was the window, and I would cry and listen to emo music out the window. I can't believe I just exposed that on a podcast.
We all know now, and it's weird because you do that now. So
I know, and it's weird because that's the one thing from my childhood that is actually carried through my adult life. And
it's weird.
And Meryl Streep,
of course. Hey, Meryl Streep. I mean, it's she still got it. Meryl Streep's
and it's
still
only
hot.
because of Mamma Mia, you know.
Mamma Mia is a pretty old film now.
Yeah, but I want to be Donna, so
okay.
I'm projecting here.
Fair enough. Okay, I love it. Okay, let's see. Final news stories. Like I said, the news stories this week are very.
How are none of them Bernie Sanders' gloves, his mittens?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. So here it is. We're recording this on Sunday. The meme came out on what? Thursday. Is the meme dead now? Simone, tell me.
No, the meme is not dead.
Okay.
Do you think the meme's dead? I think you think the meme's dead, but I think Bernie's mittens should live and thrive.
Bernie's mittens should. I think now I want to see, because the first day it came in hot. I loved it. I was doing it myself. I was photoshopping them everywhere.
Oh my God.
But now there's a difference between good Bernie Sanders memes and bad Bernie Sanders memes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now there's a distinction, because at the very, very beginning, the first couple hours, it's like you see any photo, instant like, boom, boom, boom.
Now we have standards.
Now we have standards. You see people who are like, oh, that are not traditionally funny. Maybe I'm being judgy here.
No.
But it'd be like, I don't know, a right-wing personality or like the mayor of Ottawa or Toronto, just placing him, not even like, you know, strategically or anywhere funny. It's just, he's just in the picture and then everyone's liking it. I'm like, that's not even clever.
No, I have Bernie standards now.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So if you had to say your favorite Bernie Sanders meme right now, what would it be?
Oh my God. I saw this one where he was sitting on so this might be a reference. Maybe you won't get.
Okay.
Ooh, sorry. That sounded very elitist for someone who gets no references. Sorry, I just clocked myself. But okay, him in the J. Cole album cover of Forest Hill Drive sitting on the roof literally killed me. Do you know that?
Yeah, I saw it. Oh
my God.
Good. That's good.
Why was that my favorite one? I don't know. I think it's because then I pictured Bernie rapping.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love. Or he's wrestling. I like him wrestling.
The wrestling one. Yeah, the wrestling one's good. I was just going to say that one. I like the ones where he like moves a little bit. So he, there's one where
I haven't seen him in action.
Oh, there's some that people like put him in like a video and stuff like that. Like the Patrick Swayze video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he's like, there's like this, what do you call it? What do you call it when you're pottery? There's like a pottery scene going
ghost,
on.
Like
the ghost of him and stuff. I just think that's really funny. But now
your Bernie standards are higher than mine.
My Bernie standards are very high. It's like, if I see it now, I'm like, it has to be clever. It can't just be put them on a couch or something.
Yeah.
Be creative. Otherwise it's dead, you know?
Yeah, I think the internet has a specific way of killing things very fast. And I think if you, like, I saw one, I'm in a Facebook group about plants. Leave me alone. And
I like plants.
And they literally just like put Bernie in a field. And I was like, what's the joke here?
Yeah. There was one.
Bernie on some grass.
Yeah. There was one at a theater of the Canada Theater. That's where I grew up in Ottawa. Mm-hmm. And it's just him in the parking lot in front of the theater. And I also was like, there's no joke.
Like, there's
here.
Bernie. Yep, you did
Bernie.
it.
There's no joke.
No.
Or like someone else put and these are the ones that are like, they're fishing for likes. They're fishing for likes real hard. Is they put them in like a wedding photo or something, like our bridesmaids photo. They're all like, sitting on the couch, looking at like a bottle of champagne, and they just put him there, but not in a good spot, just like to the left. And it's like, come on.
You know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of people thinking that the meme does all the work. You have to make the meme work for you. You can't put that much faith into little old Bernie. Yeah. You have to add your own creative flair, and it's just like kind of upsetting.
That's right. That's right. So I'm really much looking forward to you photoshopping Bernie everywhere, Simone.
All right. I'll do my best.
I think we have another good couple days of this, and then it'll be gone. And that's fine. You know what? I was just thinking that some people are very bitter. They're like, oh, this meme's so dead. I hate everything. It's like, hey, listen, like for that 3 days, it was just a wonderful time on the internet to go on and see something funny instead of like the world burning. Let people have this.
Exactly.
That's how I feel.
I think it came in hard and it's going to end hard. Like, I think when memes come in that aggressive, they just like, they come fast, they go fast, like a bad relationship. Right. So I feel like the Bernie has that aspect, but it was really good.
It was really good. It was really good.
Like,
and Simone's doing this like
Italian hand,
like a spicy meatball hand going on.
Perfecto. It was very good.
All right, 2 last news stories here, and then we'll get into the movie. In fact, I'm gonna skip one because it's not that interesting. Actually, I'll just read it. Maybe you'll find it interesting. Astronomers discover super Earth that is almost as old as the universe.
What? That is very cool. Why didn't you almost skip that? There's nothing cooler than space.
Yeah. You want to go to space?
Oh my God, no.
Okay, sorry. No. I thought you were ramping up to the, oh my God, yes.
No, that's so scary. That's so scary. I don't need to go to space. I just need to know what's in it.
So you want to learn more about it. But not actually be there. Like, you're not going to be the first person to sign up for the Mars mission.
Because I don't trust that shit. I don't think we're supposed to mess with space. You know what I mean? I think we are humble little creatures within space.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to discover little pieces about it, but I don't think we need to go colonize another planet. Like, we've already trashed Earth. Let's not wreck another one.
Yeah, it's true. People want to do Mars. I'm like, there's nothing on Mars, but like, they're like, okay, we're going to bring, I think I saw this news story, but like, they're trying to bring like more vegetation to Mars, like get stuff to grow there. And it's like, that's pretty, I guess it makes sense, but it's like, it's a lot of work to bring people from Earth to Mars. Like,
just stop, like, relax.
Yeah.
Because also, I don't know, like, to me, it's kind of like, how can we have such what seems like it vast and complex system going on here on Earth, and like other planets just don't have that? Like, I can't believe that. Mm-hmm. I just think we don't understand it, and if we go there and we start messing up stuff and like growing like bananas on Mars,
is bananas the fruit that's gonna ruin everything?
I think so. I think bananas are gonna be the downfall of the entire universe. So I think we need to like hold our bananas and wait till Elon Musk needs to get his bananas in line before we start heading out.
I think like it's much easier to grow a potato than a banana, probably on a different planet.
I think. Do you know bananas used to be poisonous to humans?
No.
And then we like genetically modified them so that we could eat them, because there was like 2 different kinds of bananas and we merged them. I did a speech on bananas in French in like grade 7.
Wow. I feel like we are learning more than we usually do on an episode of Talking Tongue, and I freaking love it. What about plantains? Tell me about plantains.
So, you fry them.
That's as much information as I expected you to know, which is great.
Perfect.
The last news story I have here is, actually, I shouldn't have ended on this, to be honest, but I'm curious because it's like Black Mirror shit. In fact, it's tagged Black Mirror, which is Microsoft files patent to create chatbots that imitate dead people.
Why? Why do we need that?
And in the first paragraph, it says it would allow the company to digitally revive deceased loved ones as chatbots using the individual's personal information.
Nope. Creepy, gross.
Don't like it.
I hate that because, hear me out, there are people on Earth that are living and dying because we don't have enough technology. Our hospitals are not advanced enough. Like the States doesn't even have free damn healthcare. Let's focus on keeping the people that are here and with us that we love alive and healthy and well. Let's focus on keeping pollution out of our air and pollution out of our water so that we can have a healthy and sustainable life for many generations to come. Like, why are we trying to bring back the dead? Let's keep the live living. Oh my God, I'm gonna run for frickin' prime minister.
I'd vote Simone. Mayor Dorie in the house.
I would not, but I am so thankful to have one vote.
I'd be like, hey, so Simone, what do you think about space and bananas? And then you go on a whole...
Like my whole platform is based off like not bringing back dead people.
Hey, you know what though? Like, I agree with you there. That's fucking creepy shit. I don't think it's a healthy way to cope with anything. If you're like
psychologically damaging for sure.
And you know, we're already getting into and this is in the near future. I'm talking about like probably 50 years or so, maybe less. It's advancing very quickly. It's like AI in general. Like so you have real robots and androids, things that look like real people, and they're just getting better at emoting. Now, if you take this chatbot like idea of, you know, using someone's personal information to be able to give like a response that person may have said, you take that technology and put it into an android with a voice, that's fucking creepy, man.
But it's also like, I think we're forgetting what it means to be human. Like if you're taking this whole like chatbot thing and you're like, that sounds just like my mother, but that connection's not there. Like you'll never have your mother back. Like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll never have your mother's arms to hold. You'll never have your mother's famous lasagna to make that comforts you every time you're sad. You'll never have your mother's wisdom. Like you're just going to have this like animated being that's acting like her. And that creates such a barrier and like human connectivity that freaks me out beyond belief.
Yeah,
like compassion is
damaging the psyche. It's kind of, it's creepy shit.
A whole bunch of psychopaths and serial killers. Like that's going to be messy.
It'll be creepy, but don't worry, Simone. It'll be fine. When you're prime minister one day, you can stop it all. So
yeah, I will. We're gonna all just be farmers.
And if all goes wrong, then we can go to space. Or I guess we'll leave you on Earth. I'll go to space.
I'll be here. I'll redeem
you. All right. We're finally here at the part of the show where we get to talk about the movie of the week. Simone's so excited. I want you to set it up and then introduce the movie of the week and why you chose it.
This movie is the most underrated comedy film to ever be released. It is for all ages. It has a wonderful backstory. It has relatable and honest characters. It has aliens. It has a family storyline. It has beautiful animation. This movie is like no other, and I'm so excited we finally get to talk about my favorite and only Disney movie that I love wholeheartedly. This week, we are talking about Lilo and Stitch.
All of our dogs are adoptable.
Except that one! What is that thing? A dog, I think, but it was hit by a truck.
Does it have to be this dog?
Yes, he's good. I can tell.
You'll have to think of a name for him.
His name is Stitch.
Oh my God, what an introduction, everyone. Now, some people at home, I already know what they're going to say. It's like Lilo and Stitch, Tuong, you have an entire show dedicated to watching all of the animated theatrical movies in order, Disney Dummies. Aren't you going to do Lilo and Stitch one day? And I was like, yeah, but Simone really wants to talk about this movie. And Disney Dummies has a completely different format, okay? And Simone is not, you know, she likes one Disney movie, and this is it.
No, I like one movie, and this is it.
There you go. And you know what? I justify it because we're still in the 1960s of watching Disney movies.
Oh.
That's where we are right now. This movie is 2002. We have a long way to go. Long way to go.
Yeah, y'all forget about me by the time Disney Dummies gets around to doing it. It's fine. I'll be saving Earth by the time you're there.
Right,
Y'all be on
of
Mars.
Course. Simone, first of all, I'd like to ask one question, and then I'll ask a second.
Yes.
First question is Stitch, Experiment 626. what is your experiment number here if you had to have one for yourself?
333.
333.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought you would choose something like, the calculator where you like flip it upside down.
Oh, you thought I was going to say boobies?
Boobies.
Dude, I don't want my freaking experiment name to be boobies. What?
I did that all the time when I was a kid. It's just,
man, God already invented boobies. I don't need to invent boobies.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel here, or in this case, boobies.
No, I don't need to invent boobies, man. I already got a pair.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Lilo and Stitch, how do we set this up here? So I'd like to hear a little bit of, when was the last time you watched this movie? What's your memory of this movie? And how did you feel in the rewatch of this movie?
So the last time I watched Lilo and Stitch was in my first year of university, because I watched it probably like 10 times a semester. It really was just like my comfort movie. Like something about it just made me, I don't know if it was like missing home and I was like, this has a strong family undertone, or if it's just like Lilo's so relatable. Like I adore her and I quote her all the time. I just absolutely love her. So I was like, you're like, pick a movie. And I was like, I only like Lilo and Stitch. I only remember liking Lilo and Stitch. So please, can we do this? And then upon rewatching, oh my God, I watched this movie. And when I tell you I hysterically cry, like I break down.
Yeah.
Like it is ridiculous. Like as soon as all of the trauma happens with like Stitch having to leave and Lilo, being taken away from her sister, I'm just like, and then like happy parts happen, and I'm like sobbing because I'm like, it's happy, everyone's happy. He's like, this is my family. I found it on my own. It is
wow, that's a pretty good Stitch impression.
But it is good, and I'm like, oh, it's good. His family's good. I'm gonna say, and it's good.
I love this Stitch impression. I wish we did the entire show with this Stitch impression here. I feel like you've worked on it for quite a while.
It also like veers a little bit into like this kind of Fat Albert sort of.
Sure.
All of a sudden I'm like, that's wrong.
It's okay. I find it very good. In fact, like, when Disney World finally opens up, you should probably wear the Stitch costume.
I would love to be Stitch. So much.
You'd have to move amazing. Like Stitch too. He moves kind of funky. Like you could do it. You're nimble. Oh, you might hurt yourself.
Grow more arms.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so how do we set this up here? Or we kind of already have. So what are your favorite moments of the film?
Oh my God. Okay, so my first favorite moment is when Lilo goes to her dance lesson and she gets there and she's like wet and late and they're like, Lilo, why are you late again? And she was like, it's Thursday, and every Thursday I feed Pudge the fish a peanut butter sandwich, but this time we didn't have peanut butter and my sister said to feed him tuna, and she's like, do you know what tuna is? And he's like, it's fish, and she's like, it's fish. I can't feed Pudge tuna. I'd be an abomination. And they're like, why does this matter so much? And she's like, Pudge controls the weather.
Yeah. That was a perfect quote. You definitely nailed that one. You're showing your Lilo and Stitch creds right now. Yeah, this movie is extremely funny. Like you're right. It's extremely funny. It shows when they say dysfunctional family, they show it in this film as well. Like
I love how relatable it is.
Mm-hmm. The fights,
like Lilo nailing her out of the freaking house.
I know, like her arguing with Nani, her sister, is very like, I have sisters, but the brother-sister relationship is different than a sister-sister relationship. Yeah. So like it felt, but I saw my sisters argue a lot growing up, like this competition, but also like well, they don't say this, but mostly like oh, you fatty face. They don't say that in the movie, but like this, like just jabs at each other to hurt each other's feelings. And then afterwards being like, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, it's like so real. And so just like, I don't know, like it's comedic because it's so relatable too. Like when Lilo's just like laying on the ground, like listening to Elvis and she's like, leave me here to die. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's very dramatic.
I feel you, girl. And she's just like shaking. She's doing voodoo, and she's like, "My friends need to be punished." I'm like, "Oh my god, Lilo!" And they're like fighting and brawling. But then she's like, "You're not gonna trade me for a rabbit, are you?" And Nani's like, "I'm gonna sell you and get a rabbit because you're a brat." And she's like, "No."
Yeah. Oh my god. Speaking of just like, I was just thinking about the scene at the beginning where Lilo literally bites someone, like one of her friends.
Punches her in the face.
Crazy. I looked at that and I was like, holy shit, like in a Disney movie, like, oh my god, like she beats the shit out of that girl.
I know, but it's also like so true because this is a girl who's both her parents died, like they're orphans. She has so much built up frustration and like she's a troubled child. Like I feel like that's something that kind of gets overshadowed by the whole Disney-ness of it, but it's like a truly and honestly troubled pair of daughters. And I love the fact that they actually were like, no, she's gonna beat this girl up because she has anger issues.
Well, her whole family has kind of, you know, disappeared from her life, right? So Nani, her sister's taking care of her, basically being a parent, even though she only ever wanted to be a sister. So she has this weird responsibility. And there's a scene where it's just like, I like you better as a sister than I liked you as like a parent. And it's like, oh, that's like seems really real and true. And the emotions that happen because of it feel very genuine, I guess would be the way to say it.
And I think that's something I love about this movie too, is like it has such amazing one-liners. Like when they're having that emotional moment, she's like, I'll only discipline you sometimes. And Lilo goes, Tuesdays and bank holidays would be good.
Yeah.
What? Like, it's just so funny. But then it makes also those moments of like those super genuine moments just feel so rewarding.
Yep.
Like it all, like this movie's payoff level is through the roof. Like they know how to perfectly time those emotions with those comedic relief moments, and it's beautiful.
Right. I want to hear your thoughts on, we'll talk more about favorite moments, of course, but I want to hear your thoughts on like the alien aspect of it, because that's the setup of this movie. We have, you know, what's his name? The guy with the 4 eyes.
Jumbo.
He's
Jumba.
Like he's the evil scientist, which I love his arc because spoilers, he's like evil. They recruit his help to get Stitch, and then there's a moment at the end where he's just like, nah, I'm a good guy now. Fuck it. Which I think is amazing. It's just like the role reversal of who's actually bad in this movie is very, it's a twist, and it's good. And if you think about it, nobody's really bad in this movie, I guess, because the Empire, or like the people, the space cops who want to get Stitch, they have a very reasonable reason of why to get this experiment, because he was built to destroy. He's going to kill everything. Well, at the beginning, he even says, like, you know, when he is in the very beginning and they're like, oh, I made this thing. Yeah. And then he's like, he says something. He says Mega Nala Quistra, which is Tantalog language. And it means I want to destroy. And then they all pass out. They all faint. They're like, ugh. Which I looked up, and it's a mixture. This is a crazy language. It's like a mixture of, what was it? It's like Chinese, but then also Hawaiian or something. Oh, interesting. Like so they've a bunch of languages. Did they invent a whole language based on it, or was it? No, it's the native language of the creators of Stitch. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's interesting. Here it is. It's Hawaiian, Chinese, and Czech Creekian. That's awesome. I love this blend. That's really cool. So it's a real language. That's really cool. That Stitch speaks in, because I thought it was just gibberish because I'm a dumb white girl, but it turns out it's a real language. I also thought it was gibberish, so don't worry. I'm also not a white girl. So what? So we have Stitch, you know, escaping from a really thrilling beginning of the movie. It's all like space adventure, and he gets to Earth. He lands. He hates water, but he ends up on this Hawaiian island and ends up needing to like be a dog. Like he needs to blend in, because otherwise they're going to capture him. It's going to be bad news. He can get arrested. So he ends up being like this adopted dog for Lilo. And then the rest of the movie is just kind of like everyone on the impression that this is a dog, even though it's clearly not. But this dog that can also play guitar and like speak and all this stuff. Oh, best montage ever. Oh, so good. And there's just the relationship that builds like slowly of being like, I'm only doing this because I'm using you. This is what Stitch would think. I'm using you to hide from like, you know, the authorities, but now I'm developing this relationship with this family. I think it's really sweet.
I think it's so sweet because it's like such a nurture versus nature situation where like Stitch is built to destroy, but the minute he's shown love and the minute he's shown the Ugly Duckling book and he's like, oh my God, I just need a family to like protect and love. And he's like, I want to stay here with my family. And they're like, who are you? What? You were literally created to destroy. He's like, not today.
That's right. He's very cute. His design is so perfect. And I want to bring this up as well. And I think this new movie, like back in the 2D era, especially like this is one of starting to get towards the end of the 2D era here, is beautiful. Like it is
stunning.
It's so gorgeous to look at. And I remember having this movie on VHS, like seeing it on like digital and like just like a 4K TV or whatever. And it's just like we have like hand painted backgrounds, the backgrounds of like very, very pretty, but also the movements of the characters, how it just, there's just so much personality to the film. And it's just like, and it's all like kind of amplified of the music too. The music of the movie, incredible.
The score is so brilliant. And like the way I remember watching this for the first time again, because when I watched it in first year, I hadn't seen it since I was pretty young. And I was like, oh my God, this like watercolor background is just so stunning. And the way that they're able to merge a space alien theme with a Hawaiian theme and have it all like, it doesn't look weird when the aliens are in Hawaii. And I'm like, how do they like, that's so crazy how these like two styles just like merge perfectly. And we're like, yes, that works. And it's beautiful. And everything is just so like fluid. It's just such a beautiful movie, like visually pleasing.
It is very, very visually even like at the very beginning, I was really impressed with just the dancing that the girls did, like the way their hips move, and they showed like the little ruffles and rustles of their what do you call it? Their
like the ankle,
their dress, I guess. Yeah, the angles that they have while they're moving and stuff, moving their hips. I was like, this is really grass skirts. Yeah, and it's just like it's impressive, and like it's beautiful. Like you have like a lot of there's some surfing in the movie too, and when
he's twirling fire, I'm like,
yeah, I'm just so impressed with the entire thing. The music though is actually made by Alan Silvestri, and for the people at home who don't know who that is, I assume Simone doesn't know this name off the top of her head, but she's laughing. So here's some movies that he's done in the past. He might sound familiar. So in recent years, he's done the Avengers theme song. That's him. He's done Back to the Future.
Yes. Okay.
Forrest Gump, The Polar Express, Castaway. He's done a couple different like Marvel movies. Stuart Little, The Mummy Returns, which is a weird one. A Christmas Carol, like the Jim Carrey one. Wow. He's done Predator. He's done a ton of stuff, which is why Lilo and Stitch probably sounds really good. It comes from like a person who's like, they know their shit when it comes to making music.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
I want to compare this movie a little bit to Moana. Have you seen Moana at all?
I have. I was under an influence of some kind. I was very intoxicated when I watched it, but I do remember.
You remember some of it? I only bring this up because we have a similar, like, not that it's like the same movie whatsoever, but it's the visual of it is very beachy, lots of waves, and even the music. It comes down to this. It invokes the music of that place. So in this movie, it's music off Hawaii. And Moana, it's like their island and stuff. Do you have any comparisons to that at all? I just like when I see the waves in this movie and I see the waves in Moana, it's like the 2D versus 3D, and it feels very similar to me.
Yeah, I think when Moana came out, I was a little butthurt. I was like, that freaking Lilo Stitch recreated for the younger generation, and I'm not buying it. I was like, no one will ever take Lilo and Stitch. There's something to me about like that cusp that Lilo and Stitch kind of rides in that 2D, 3D animation era that just holds such a special place in my heart. Like Moana to me just kind of seems like another new Disney movie, which is great. It does have lots of like It's good for representation. It's good for all of those things. It's good for the earth. It's got a lot of my grandmother is an island or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
But I remember watching it and be like, I was like, I want to watch Lilo and Stitch right now. Like, I'm just not into it. I don't remember what it sounded like.
So I would say Moana is a fantastic film. I would recommend watching it again. Although Lilo and Stitch on rewatch, like I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. I might have spoiled it for myself for the next time I watch it for Disney Dummies, like the purity of rewatching it since I was a kid. But I remember watching this film when I was a kid and not liking it. And I think the reason why, well, I remember liking it, but like on the surface being like, I don't love this movie. And I think the reason why, very petty, was that my older sister, I have two sisters, both of them older, but the eldest sister, she loved this film. And because she loved this film, I was like, I'm not going to love this film. Ew, gross. You only like this film because Lilo kind of looks like you. And that was my base level. Yeah.
Well, that's another beautiful thing about this movie is like the way the characters are created. Like Nani and Lilo are not pencil thin princess, like blonde princesses. You know what I mean? Like Nani's got some good ass thighs. Like her thighs are huge. They're here to play. She's like not a small, tiny woman, which I think is like
people are
different
fit
for
and
Disney.
good looking in this movie. So, like the men are just like
I don't know, like
yeah,
totally. But from like a women perspective,
sure,
it's not like you're a dainty little like Snow White, right? And that I think really resonated with me. And I was like, heck yeah, these are two women that are doing their best. They look like women. They don't look like
you're right.
figures. And it really was just like encapsulating to me. I was like, I love them.
I should say that like I also like obviously the design of the women as well. I was like, oh yeah, the bodies, the men look so good. No, I don't mean that. The women, yes, they're the curves to them. They feel very authentic to the island and stuff. And there's different bodies and shapes and sizes that aren't just like toothpicks and stuff like that.
And when Lilo takes pictures of all those people and you look at them on her wall, she's like, aren't they beautiful? And they're not bikini models. No. It's like that man with his ice cream that he drops and like women busting out of their bikinis. And I'm like, I love this. Yes, Lilo, they are beautiful. Like, go on.
Very good rule of three there. Like you could see it building like improv. Like that guy drops his ice cream 3 times in the movie. Yes. And then always more ridiculous situations that cause it to drop. I think it's really good. Okay, so we have other characters as well. Of course, Lilo and Stitch, we love them. They're great. Nani, we kind of talked about her. Actually, before we move on from Nani, I want to hear your opinion on this. And Laura brought up a point to me yesterday when she did some research, and I'm paraphrasing a thing that I don't fully understand, but I'm going to throw it to you. So my first thing that I mentioned was that, mentioned to Laura was that Nani is really mean to Stitch in this movie, like really mean. Like she does some stuff, like she hits him around, she calls him names. She's pretty violent to him at many times. There's a part of the movie where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she did that, which is like she thought I keep mixing up. Stitch grabs Lilo from the surfboard and brings her underwater. So when Nani
kicks him.
Yeah, when Nani goes to save her, she kicks Lilo or Stitch further down, and I'm like, holy shit, like that seems really mean. But then Laura's like, well, it's because she thought that Stitch was trying to hurt Lilo, so it's like an instinctive thing. And I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. I just saw that. I'm like, that's fucking. I see Stitch as Captain Meatball, really. Aww. So I'm just like, I would never do that to my dog, even if he really misbehaved. It just felt really. I felt thrown back for a second, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between the way Nani sees Stitch and the way we get to see Stitch. Because we get to see Stitch, his like full storyline. Yeah. Whereas like from her perspective, obviously, she's just like, it's been a few days. She has because at the beginning, Mr. Bubbles is like, you have 3 days.
I love Mr.
Before
Bubbles.
I take your sister from you and put her into foster care, which is crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And then, so she's all stressed out. And then she's just trying to do her best to make Lilo happy by getting her this dog. And of course, Lilo picks literally this rabbit animal. Like, this is not a dog. Like, we all know that. Like, it was dead this morning. Like, what is that thing?
Right.
And it's causing her, she can't get a job because of it, which means she's going to lose Lilo. It's hurting people. It caused her to like already lose the one job that she had. And then she sees this animal drowning her little sister, which is the only family member she has left, the only person she cares for, and the only like reason she's going to be able to keep her and keep the house and keep everything that she has stable in her life. I would kick Stitch. I get it. Like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense.
See someone killing your little sister,
yeah, it makes sense.
Die.
But I'm thinking of the other times in the movie, and I've wrote some of them down. She does beat the shit out of him, and she calls him names. And then I'm like, if you don't like him so much, why did you bring him to all of your interviews on the island?
But because she had to, because she can't leave Lilo alone, because she already got in trouble for leaving Lilo alone.
That's true. Bubble. That's true.
And Lilo's not going to go without Stitch.
Ohana.
I'm family means no one gets left behind.
Every that I will say, like, I haven't heard that term in a long time, even though it was said over and over in the movie. But when I heard it the first time in the movie, like, everything started flooding back, and I was just like, I was already starting to well up, because I'm like, oh my god, they first said it, and I know they're gonna fucking say it at the end of the movie, and it's gonna just break me, and they do it.
It destroys me. And when Stitch is in the, like, he just walks away with the little duckling, and he just like is out there. He's like, I'm lost. I was like, no.
Yeah, and my heart breaks because there's a lot of like series of misunderstandings in the movie too, which makes it like more interesting of a movie. But it's just like, oh, but if you only knew, then you wouldn't be arguing right now. Because I felt so bad. Like, my heart broke a lot when Lilo pushes Stitch and says, go away, basically. And she like spent the entire movie, defending him, being in his corner, being like, you know what, like, I want what's best for you. If you want to leave, you can leave like everyone else does, but I'll remember you. And it's just like, fuck, man, you're killing me right now. And then she thinks that Stitch does something irredeemable, so she pushes him and is like, you know what, we're done here, you can just go. And then that's when Stitch goes on a rescue mission to go save her. And it's a whole thing. Very fun, by the way. When that happens, that whole scene, really good. Because Stitch goes to Junba and the other guy who's just like, I love mosquitoes. And
hilarious.
He just says like, blah, 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 blah. And within seconds, he's like, yep, you know what? You convinced me. I'm a good guy now. And I just love that whole scene playing up. Yeah. So good.
It's also so good because something I hate in movies is tension. It's so funny. I could watch a perfectly happy movie from start to finish where nothing goes wrong. It's just, I'm just watching people live a happy, good, and normal life. I will feel safe and secure, and I will love it. So in this moment where it wasn't like too much back and forth, and it was just like, all right, I'm a good guy. You convinced me. I was like, thank God. Thank God. Oh, I was nervous. And like all my fears washed away. But it's also a short movie. It's only like an hour long, which makes sense because it's for kids, right?
Yeah, I think it's an hour, 20 minutes or so around that mark. But yes, it's a very digestible length of a movie. And a lot happens, lots of action, lots of emotion. And for Disney Dummies, we've seen a lot of these movies that are like 40 minutes long, an hour long. And you're like, holy shit, when is this going to end? Like, it feels like a 3-hour film. Yeah. This movie moves at a clip. It's like super quick. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got such amazing timing. Like, something about this movie, like, I'm just blown away. Like, I really think it's so underrated. It's a masterpiece. Like, oh my God, when he builds that whole freaking San Francisco set in her room to destroy it. And she just goes, San Francisco. That's the funniest line in the movie. Like, how do they make this so interesting and timely and just perfect? And she's also like a toddler. Right. I don't understand.
Oh, right. I forgot my main point. There was so going back to what Laura was talking to me about, like, I was bringing up how Nani was mad and stuff like that. There was she brought up like this article that she read about how people also had really bad things to say about Lilo and Nani, basically saying they're violent human beings, which I think there's like violence in this movie, but like it's kind of comedical, and like I think Nani takes it too far sometimes. But like there was an interesting article of like how not you, Simone, but like how white people depict this movie, and because they're colored, they immediately think that like, oh, colored people are violent, and they're just all this like emotions that I didn't think about because, like, I'm Asian, so I didn't really equate her violence to being like her color. That's how I like rationalize it more. Like I was just like, oh, that's just mean to be a mean way to treat your pet. That's like what was the way how
you're
that
like,
was
"Don't treat
internalizing it for
dog like
myself.
this."
But there was a whole article on like
Wow.
people internalizing, maybe not feeling it on the surface, but because they're, Hawaiian, that it's like, oh yeah, they're violent because they're Hawaiian kind of thing. And I'm like, I hate that.
That's ridiculous to me, because these are two young girls who have so much frustration built in them because of the circumstance that they're in and the stress that they're in, that of course they're gonna like lash out. Like I think no matter what kind of human you put them in that pressurized situation, like anger is going to boil up. And I think there's not enough violence for them to see. Like, Lilo's a crazy young girl who's like stuck in this rut, and she's emotional and confused and lost. Like,
she lost her parents, for God's sake. Like,
when I was little, like I used to bite onto my brot's arm, and I would not let go. Like, he would like whip me around, and I would draw blood, and he would take his towel after he got out of the shower and knock me out. Like, it was
God.
Yeah. So like,
now you just bite necks instead.
Yeah, I'm just a part-time vampire. But I think that every household and every sibling relationship definitely has violence within it. And I just think a lot of people don't want to talk about it, don't want to acknowledge it, and just want to present like this perfect household image, like this whole like American dream front to them. So I think it's really great that they're actually showing like a true and honest depiction of two struggling young women trying to figure stuff out.
I agree. And I think like, I wonder what would happen, and this movie would not work, because it'd be very weird if you replace these two women from Hawaii with two white women instead.
Oh, no.
If people would think of it differently, or if they start rationalizing, it's like, of course they're violent, they're women. Like, I hate this like idea that because they're colored or because they're emotional because they're women is why they were like violent in the movie. It seems like too hard of an analysis, or too like, I don't know, pretentious of an analysis for a movie that's supposed to just bring like real human emotions and joy,
1,000%. And if anything, I think it's funny to me that people think they have lots of masculine qualities, in the sense that being a woman and being young emotionally doesn't usually entail violence.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny to me that people are like, oh, they're acting out and they're being violent because they're women. I'm like, but what happened to boys will be boys, and if he hits you, he likes you? Like, that seems like a male trait to me.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like people just want to pin stuff on women.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're digging real deep to try to be like, they're acting that way because they're women. Why aren't they just acting that way because they're normal humans going through an experience?
Thank you. Yes. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring up, because like, I never thought about this movie in that way. I don't deconstruct movies like this in that way, because it's like, it's a fucking Disney movie. Like, let's just, there's been problems with like Disney movies in the past and how they represent individuals and all that stuff. And we can leave that in the past and still look at that and appreciate it for what it is. But like, this movie in general, like, there's nothing inherently wrong with the way they represent people, at least from my viewing of it. Like, maybe there is, but like, I didn't watch it for that. I'm watching for like the gags, the emotion, that type of stuff, the animation.
And I think if it was males doing physical comedy, because that's what it is to me, it's physical comedy, which I think is more acceptable from a male than from a female, maybe in like a palatable, like, consumerism sense. Because I think like two guys punching each other, it's just like, ha ha ha, kind of funny, right? But if a woman does it, you're just like, whoa, violent women. But it's like, it's just physical comedy. Like, that's what it is, right? When she starts punching that other girl and dance
thought it was hilarious. I was just like, oh shit, she's really like, going for it.
She bit me. Yeah, it's like, but that's what, when I was little, a kid sat too close to me in story time. He had a crush on me and he kept bugging me. I turned around, I punched him in the face.
Wow.
I was like, get the frick away from me, dude. I don't want to.
Isn't that how you met your boyfriend? Did you wail on him? And then it's like, hey, my name's Simone.
Yeah, he still has a black eye.
I thank you, Simone. I just really wanted to bring that up because I just felt like it.
Yeah.
Once I heard it, I just wanted to hear someone's take on it, because if I had watched this movie 100 times over, I would never ever think about that aspect of it.
No. And that's also so frustrating weird to me, because it like overlooks the amount of compassion that every character has in this movie. Like, there's so many second chances. There's so much just like trying to understand the situation here. There's like, it just seems crazy to me. Like also even Nani, when, what's his name? David? Pretty sure
Yeah.
that's his name.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
David. He's trying to get her to go on a date. And she's like, no, I'm trying to be the best parent that I can and guardian that I can to Lilo. She's not like an emotional, like, it's not a romance in that sense at all. Like she completely shuts that off and she's trying to be there for Lilo. And so I don't see her at all as being outrageously emotional and harsh. She's like, maybe another time. Like I can't do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's completely overlooking all these other aspects of strong individual women that they are portraying. And that frustrates me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're not lashing out in any sense that is unordinary or that you wouldn't see in a normal sister relationship, especially with that big difference of an age.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So, and it's also like some of it is seemingly harmless when she's like, gravity is failing me, and she's like falling onto her, and then like Lilo slams the door. Like,
oh my God. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, you're gonna hurt someone like that. She dodged that right in the nick of time because of like, you almost got the door almost slammed on your head. Could get
but
concussion.
again, that's part of their dynamic, you know, like they never hurt each other.
No
one is ever physically damaged. And I think that that's also, you fight the hardest with the ones you love the most. You know what I mean? It kind of shows a dynamic of like, this is the thing we do. Like Lilo will climb into the oven and I'll pretend like I'm leaving. I'll come on top and I'll grab her in a blanket. Like they know this routine.
Yeah.
So it's violence, yes, but no one gets hurt. It's not like Stitch gets saved. David saves Stitch.
Yeah, you're right. And everyone at the end of the movie is all like, that's what I like about this movie. Because everyone at the end of the movie is just like, we good? All right. No bad guys died. No one got flung into the sun. It's just like
such a good ending.
It's just like everyone's just like, okay, evil genius guy who got locked away, he's good. Other guy who got fired, like guy who likes mosquito, you're good. We're gonna go back to space. Captain Gantu, like the jacked up shark dude, he's just like, yep, all right, I'm good too.
Yeah, everyone's happy. But I also love at the end how they just acknowledge this little like conspiracy theory where like the aliens are involved with the CIA and they just like know each other, and everyone's like, yeah, we worked on a mission back in the day, and like the government is also controlled by aliens.
Oh,
and
I would watch the Mr. Bubbles prequel or whatever. I love that he was like he's a social worker now, but he's like he saved the earth one day because he made up something about mosquitoes. It's good. Just
literally, but isn't that so funny when it just like I was like, that's also something very topical right now in this whole world of conspiracies and like aliens and government control and all that. I was kind of like, wow, I was like, damn, Lilo and Stitch, she got this little bit of like realness in there, and it's kind of like threw me off. Even at the beginning when they're talking about Earth and they're like, these are humans, they're actually very delicate because every time an asteroid hits they have to start over and they're not very smart. I was like,
yeah, shots taken. All right, my final thoughts
but I love those, like, oh, so good.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just saying I love it.
I love it too, and I really do. This movie, there's a lot to celebrate in it. But before we end our discussion on Lilo and Stitch, did you watch the second movie and or the series that happened afterwards?
I haven't seen it. I'm also a creature of habit. I think it comes with being a Capricorn, where I
okay, all right.
I just want to rewatch. I want to rewatch. That's why I also haven't seen very many movies, is because I'm like, I know I love this. I love this so much. So I'm going to go watch it again because I know it's going to pay off. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to have the emotional arc that I want to have. And I'm so scared of sequels and series spin-offs of Disney movies that happen later, because it just, something about it makes me nervous, and I don't want to ruin the story that I love. Because I don't really like, to me, movies, books, whatever they are their own world and their own time.
Right.
And you don't have to go beyond that. Like, you don't have to explain things. Like, let this be its own universe, world, and time, and it can be closed chapter.
I was going to say, like, I'm just looking up right now that Lilo and Stitch, the original Lilo and Stitch, and now, of course, you have to take these reviews as a grain of salt, but on Rotten Tomatoes, like, it got like quite a high score. Now I'm looking it up right now, but I will say that the second one had a 40% score. So people did not like the second one. It was like,
I know, I'm so scared to watch it because, like, it's not one of those movies where I could see what happens next. It's like, where do we go? And that scares me. Like, I want to it ended, it's wrapped in a beautiful little bow, packaged perfectly and placed on the table. So how are we going to reopen that gift? You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel right. It feels uncomfy.
This is 86% is what the first one got, and then dipped to 40%. It reminds me of that era, like you were mentioning, where the sequels of Disney movies are like, this is questionable, like Mulan 2 or something that like completely doesn't need to happen, you know? Yeah, this movie is so good. I just love how they explore family dynamics. It's just so, I love it. All right, Simone, we're at the end of our talk with Lilo and Stitch. How did we talk so long about this simple movie? Don't even know. We got into it.
Masterpiece.
We got into it on a philosophical level. I'd like to hear how you would rate this movie.
Oh my God. Okay. I would rate this movie 2 million tuna sandwiches out of 2 million tuna sandwiches.
Wow. That's a lot of tuna sandwiches. Yeah. But you wouldn't make other fish eat the tuna sandwiches.
No, it's tuna sandwiches specifically for Stitch.
Of course. All right, Simone, this is the end of the show today. Thank you so much for being on today's episode of Talking Tongue.
Having me.
Of course. We'll have you anytime. Maybe not Talking Tongue because you only watch one movie and we can't talk about Lilo and Stitch again.
Again. I'll watch the second one.
Will you? I don't want to do that to you. Okay. I don't want to tarnish that to you because you already said, I already said that like the second one, maybe not so good.
I know, I'm scared, but I'm curious.
Simone, do you have anything to plug for the people at home?
NA plugs, recycle.
I mean, not a bad plug, of course.
I mean, yeah, do that thing. What else do I want to plug? Oh, okay. If you want to help me not be scared of all the preteens on TikTok, follow me on TikTok because I'm hoping maybe you're like not 13 listening to Talking Tongue. Maybe you are. Honestly, I hope everyone listens to Talking Tongue.
I don't know if I need that audience, to be honest. They'd be very mean to me.
I know. We talked about boobies for like 20 minutes, too. So I'm kind of scared.
I still think you can change your experiment name. You don't have to be 333. You can still be, what is it? 531-8008. Memorize it.
Of course you remember boobies.
That's all I did on my calculator.
Oh my God, no math. The answer's always boobies.
Yeah. Anyways, Simone, what other plugs do you have before we wrap this up here? You want to is there a podcast you listen to, a book you're reading, anything at all?
Anything at all. Oh, I just got a new book. It's called Forest Bathing.
Okay, go on.
You're like, what the heck is forest bathing? So forest bathing is like this Japanese art of nature therapy.
Okay.
And it's like, the book is like your guide to forest bathing. It's like the #1 forest bathing book. But basically it's about, instead of going out into nature and just like being like, nature, it's like actually acknowledging what's going on and actually connecting yourself to the things outside. And it really is like, especially in a time where like, I feel like it's so cold. It was like -23 yesterday. And it's just like getting outside and actually appreciating things. You get into that rut of being like, screw the earth. It's cold and snowy and I hate it and I don't want to be outside. But we really need to be outside in this freaking lockdown. Yeah. So like going outside and actually finding moments of beauty and just appreciating it is just like. And
soaking in it. Okay. So it's not actual bathing. It's just soaking in nature kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like taking a metaphorical bath in the forest. So don't bring your tubs into nature and get naked because I don't want to. You can freeze. Okay.
Simone doesn't want to see that. You know what?
I don't want to see no boobies in the forest. All right. Keep your boobies in your calculator and your tubs in your bathroom.
Oh my God. And you know what, Simone, this is probably, maybe this is a low blow, but like this is probably how you got your ear infection here, is you took in too much nature. You don't have to actually put your ears up against trees and things like that. Like,
yeah, my forest bath gave me an ear infection.
It was worth it. Simone is now connected to the universe, everyone.
I'm so connected, it hurts.
Oh my God. All right. Well, with that, I would say just find the rest of the shows in the PodCavern at www.podcavern.com. Plenty of shows to check out there. If you want to hear more from Simone, she will be back. She will be back ranking things. Maybe you have to do cheeses or something. I'm not sure. Or astrology signs. Is there enough for that?
Oh, yeah, there is.
There is. Okay. All right. Well, with that, we're going to end this episode of Talking Tongue. We'll be back next week. And Simone, do you want to give the people at home your world famous catchphrase?
That's not so but so.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.